different, but at Digicom, we'll find your common link, providing you with excellent technical support, the latest in computer systems, accessories, and parts. Always at the horizon of technology, taking you where others can only imagine. Call telephone 225-0501.
Digicom, Digicom, yani kılınmayacak. Digicom, Digicom, yani...
Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to this program of Humaza, the Slanderer. This program is one of intense guidance that everyone should pay attention to. I will read from the Quran, chapter 104, what Allah has said about the slanderer. The slanderer is linked with the defamer. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful. Woe to every slanderer, defamer, who amasses wealth and counts it. He thinks that his wealth will make him abide. Nay, he will certainly be hurled into the crushing disaster. And what will make thee realize what the crushing disaster is? It is the fire kindled by Allah, which rises over the hearts. Surely it is closed in on them in extended columns. Now, the slanderers and defamers are collectively mentioned by Allah, just as steadfastness and patience is collectively mentioned in respect of good deeds, same as in respect of bad deeds. But what Allah has stated is that the slanderer and defamer is defaming and slandering of the prophets and Islam. Now, by attacking the character, the dignity and integrity of the messenger, it prevents the message or help to have the message distorted. And this is a very serious aspect of the slanderer, defamer. But Allah has mentioned about the hellfire. This is very technical, which we should seek to understand. Here, Allah is saying, he will certainly be hurled into the crushing disaster. The word used is the same word that is used for hellfire. Now, what Allah has mentioned further, and what will make thee realize what the crushing disaster is. And this Allah is saying, it is the fire kindled by Allah, which rises above the hearts. Surely it is closed in on them in extended columns. The fire of hell is described as rising over the hearts. showing that is within the heart of man, that the origin of hellfire lies. A man hell is thus within his own heart and this life. Now, persons normally have the tendency to believe that hell is somewhere down there and heaven is somewhere up there. Allah has clearly spelled out, you can taste the heaven and the hell right here, right now in this life. It has to do with your hearts. And Allah is clearly stating that this kind of behavior and attitude causes the fire to kindle in your heart. He kindles it. And it moves from stage to stage. Unless you desist from those kinds of behaviors and attitude, the fire will continue to burn within you. So you will be causing life to be made difficult for you and others. We need to understand that our behavior has repercussions. Defaming of the prophets, slandering them, is not proper. You might think that, well, by doing that, yes, you will happen to stifle their message. But it can bring disaster, not only to you, but to others in your communities. What Allah has mentioned about a crushing disaster, it's not only in the individual. You have earthquakes, landslides. You have tsunamis. We should stop defaming the prophets. Stop it. And we, having jumped to the conclusion that we can slander and defame the prophets, then we start practicing it on our fellow man, our family, friends, whether our enemies or what, and we start doing it among ourselves. So we create a living hell among us and our communities. And all sort of evil forces begin to possess us from here, there, and everywhere because of our indulgence in these habits and attitudes. We need very much to take a grip of ourselves and stop slandering and defaming persons, from the prophets come right down to the last born child. Stop doing it. Whether they're close to you or far from you, don't do it. It interferes with your heart. It damages you. It injures you. As Allah has stated, it's not a punishment He puts on you, but you experience a punishment, but He don't punish you. What He does is shows you mercy. From the works you put out, it's for that you get paid. and is due to his mercy. It's not that he is punishing you. He wants to correct you. It's the action of correction that he does. When he kindled that fire within your heart, it's to correct you, not to punish you. When he gave an earthquake or a tsunami or a landslide, it's not to punish the people, it's to correct them. So we who knows to ourselves that we are slandering persons, we are defaming persons, we have our own intent and purposes of doing that, we should stop it. We should stop it and protect ourselves, our young, our communities, our country, our village, our towns, our nation. Stop defaming and slandering persons. Stop it. So our hearts could be purer, and these evil forces that is lurking around will not possess us and interfere with our lives and our well-being. We need very much to keep away from slander. Stay away from defaming. Whenever somebody go to slander and defame, they go with a personal agenda. Stop it. And as Allah say, He kindles the fire in your heart, so it's from your heart the fire begin burning. And when that fire is burning in you, you don't stop there. You go from stage to stage. So you become a slanderer, it's not for that one person, or a defamer, not for that one person. It will go on. And you will go to different levels in abomination. Instead of doing the right thing, and you would go to different degrees in righteousness. We need to be able to distinguish between right and wrong. We need to protect ourselves, our own integrity and dignity, so that we can respect others and help to preserve their integrity and dignity, so that Allah can help to preserve our integrity and dignity, so we can have and live in a harmonious society, respecting each other as they are, without a corruption of cultures, by understanding everyone. We can coexist. We don't have to slander people to do that. We don't have to defame people to do that. We don't have to put dirt on our hearts to do that. We should do more righteous deeds and seek to have our hearts polished. We need very much to take a serious account of this, because this is plaguing our nation. This situation is plaguing our nation terribly. Everybody always slandering somebody and defaming somebody. All the time. It becomes almost permanent in our society. We must stop it. We need very much to change the way we think, so we can change the way we behave. We very much have to apply ourselves to righteousness and understand that heaven and hell, we could go through it, and we are going through it right here in our body, in our minds. And the same thing will reach our souls to the hereafter. Our mind, our heart, our mind and body will be consumed with the hellfire here. Our hearts, our minds, and our body will be consumed with the hellfire. Fire and brimstone and falling from above. It is already kindled within you. And if you don't take care, then in the hereafter, it will hurt your soul. We need to think right and think positive and behave right so that the right things could happen and we could be on the right path. And we could stay on the right path if we behave right. We don't have to think that, well, maybe we have to do this, and we consider with wealth, and checking on wealth and what have you. We check on wealth, Allah can destroy and get rid of that whenever, whatever. If He don't take away haram wealth from you, He takes it from your children, your grandchildren, your associates. He takes it because it is haram. It's satanic. It cannot stand. You might laugh and feel happy and so on, but down the line, it is going to be taken from them. Whatever Allah gives you, that is there to stay. And what the devil gives you, he takes it back. It is not that you must not amass wealth. Yes, you're living in this world. Watch it. Watch how you get it. What is the mechanism you use to acquire it? And your wealth is a test. You're only the custodian of wealth. You're not the owner of no wealth. When you die, you don't carry anything with you. You're the custodian of it for the time being. Even if somebody can take it from you, when you die, your descendants, they inherit it. It's not yours. You are the custodian for the time being. We must understand this. So we must manage it in a righteous way. And that doesn't mean that you have to slander and defame people to do it, to acquire it or manage it. Now, I want to mention two things. One, I had spoken about a series that we wanted to start. But to start that series and move into the Republic, it may not be appropriate because the time is too short for persons to understand the significance of the 23rd of February because they've been drifted so far away. Maybe that would be by next year, they might be equipped and able to fully understand what the 23rd of February is. Because even that, it had some slandering and defaming that people don't understand what the 23rd of February is. Because the 23rd of February was the day when, with the 1763 uprising. All over the world, the people knows that. It is recorded in history all over the world. Only Guyana, where it happened, the people don't know and don't care because of defaming and slandering. They talk all sorts of things about the 23rd of February. But throughout the whole world, the 23rd of February is honored beside our republic. It's an honorable day for Guyana. That date. But we need to go into more details, like by next month when we start up there, we will be able to go into those things, and then just now we'll go to the emancipation time and so on. So I don't want to mix up the things. There was another thing that happened from my last week program. I want to make this clear in respect of the incident with the young woman and the unidentified body. I have assisted the police as they have asked for assistance since the week before. I did not have solved the issue, didn't only identify the body, but also derive the intelligence, not information, already filtered information. I derived the intelligence of the circumstances surrounding the killing of the young woman. It is handed over to the police, and the police is dealing with the matter. I want to appeal to the relatives of the young woman to stay calm. Do not be ruffled. Don't worry with what people might be saying here, there, that, and what. Allow the police to do their job. Don't get involved in nothing. Allow the police to do their job. It's not a question of defaming the police or accusing this, that. Stop that. Just allow the police to do their job. It's not that anything against with the thing of the police and so on. No. There is certain skills, ability, which I possess. I assist the police. They ask for assistance, I assist the police, and the matter is handed over to the police. The police is capable of handling the matter. Leave the police, let them take their time and deal with the issue. Do not confuse or cause any problems to interfere with their investigations. Person's been calling me, trying to make contact with me, this, that. Stop, leave, and wait on the police. If you have a problem, speak to the Deputy Commissioner Vive House at Eve Leary. He's responsible for admin. Speak to him. Or speak to Assistant Commissioner Basant at Coven John. Don't go around the place with no gossip, slander, this, that, and what. Speak to those persons, and those persons will guide you and channel you correctly to deal with that issue. I'm again appealing to the relatives. Be calm and allow the police to do their work. Okay. That is for that. Now, I want to open the lines now. Operator, open the lines to me. Assalamu alaikum. Assalamu alaikum. Assalamu alaikum. I'll miss that caller. Yeah, I've opened the lines so that we can have a long period of time of interaction on this issue. Assalamu alaikum. Assalamu alaikum. Assalamu alaikum. Operator, I got a problem with the telephone. I don't know, I'm not hearing the. I'm not hearing them. You have missed that caller there again. I don't know if there's some technical problem.
Digicom, Caracol Future, Digicom.
We're all different, but at Digicom, we'll find your common link, providing you with excellent technical support, the latest in computer systems, accessories, and parts, always at the horizon of technology, taking you where others can only imagine. Call telephone 225-0501.
Digicom, Caracol Future, Digicom.
Yes, assalamu alaikum. We take it that whatever it is properly set now. So a person can feel free to call in to interact. I've known that recently they had a lot of slandering story concerning the Holy Prophet Muhammad, and there are some people who take certain actions against that. And those actions doesn't really help the situation. More or less, when somebody seeks to defame someone, then what should be done is persons put over the true character of the person and make that public so that that will counteract the slander and defaming. And when persons might seek to slander or defame you, what you need to do is just let the best of you come out so that truth will come forward and falsehood will perish. And you would be able to deal with the slander and defaming in that kind of a way without having to retaliate in a like manner and cause that fire to be kindled within your heart, putting you on par with the other person with the fire burning. You know, sometimes the Rasta man used to say about fire and so on, but maybe he might put it over for persons to understand. And they might just take it as a joke. But the Rasta man has been advocating that all the time. The persons wasn't taking it serious. Maybe they were looking at the messenger and not the message which he was bringing. But he was talking about it years now. The person was not paying much heed to it. And we have to ensure that we walk along the path of righteousness if we need to be righteous. If we do not follow that path, then we could be consumed by the other path from the guidance and teachings which we get according to our indulgence, our habits, our association, what have you. So we would have to look very careful to what we do, our association. We know how far that we mix. We know what we read, what is good for our intellect, and what is not good, what our eyes should behold, and what it should not, so as to preserve our well-being. And that fire will not kindle within us. Because when that fire is kindled within us, is we of ourselves begin to grudge, hate, envy, all sort of things creeping with that. And that is what we should guard ourselves against. We should try to portray love for all, hatred for none. Because we would have a hatching of all sorts of ills that would help to destroy us and our society. And as these things creep in and we continue, the society becomes corrupt. And as the society becomes corrupt, and we are part of the same society, we don't have no escape. So what we need to do is to polish our hearts. Try not to indulge in the habits, customs that will cause us to have that fire kindled within our hearts. Because like Allah has said, it's not that it is going to stop at you. Assalamu alaikum. Assalamu alaikum. Assalamu alaikum. You on the air? I lost that caller. I don't know what's happening, but everybody's going to get through like they. I'm not hearing the persons. Yeah. Well, we have to ensure that our society does not go down under more than it has already gone. And we have to start with ourselves, look at our immediate family, and then we look at our association, our associates and what have you, and we seek to pull ourselves together so that we will not be caught into a situation where we could be consumed by these different vices that makes you uncomfortable, makes you unhappy. I know that quite recently we had a spate of some terrible things that happened over the past week. It is very demonic, the things that has taken place. We need to pull ourselves together. And we very much need to be our brother's keeper. When we see wrong things, we shouldn't stay quiet. If we do, it's just as if we have aided and abetted. You know, last week, Monday, I was in the television studio at Channel 67, where we have that program Window on Democracy. And while I was going up there, persons were talking about that incident on the East Coast. I didn't sanction much into it with the driver and so on. But after we finished our program, then this Chad Ram Sarup go to read the news. And he was reading that same thing what I heard people saying, a 17-year-old juvenile, and then I object. You know, the 17-year-old cannot be a juvenile. And they had freezed the news, they check it out and so on. Llewellyn John was there, we check it out same time and see that 17-year-old was not a juvenile. So there were some things that wasn't right that take place there. And even with the charges with that person there, that is, the person was not a driver. Assalamu alaikum.
Greetings in the name of the Most High.
Yes. Go right ahead.
Name of the Most High.
Yes.
Hello.
Yeah. Assalamu alaikum. Yeah, go right ahead.
Hi. Greetings in the name of the Most High.
Yes, I acknowledge it.
Hello.
Yeah, go ahead. You not hearing me?
Friend. I'm on to you.
Yeah, you're on.
Keep
Speak.
my brother. I'm not hearing.
Okay, but I'm hearing you.
Hello.
Yeah, I am hearing you though. Speak. Just now it was that I wasn't hearing the persons, but now I'm hearing you, and you're not hearing me. But speak, I'm hearing.
I'm listening to your program, Misunderstanding the Way of Life. Well, consequently, you cannot stop. One cannot be stopped because, you know, the New World Order is taking over. There's nothing we can do about it. The way of life now is that you understand that you go back to the ancient days is the only way you could survive and live more longer. You understand?
Yes, I understand you.
So I just carry on watching your program. Enjoy your day, right?
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
I appreciate that. I appreciate that very much.
Okay.
Now, there is something which I wanted to show the persons here where the United Nations with the World Trade Center with that story there. They have him on record where they had the first protest. The protest was the people there themselves. It has nothing to do with Muslims or anything with Bin Laden and all of that. With the World Trade Center affair. And also the oil story with the kingdom That is, they themselves make that film. When they had went to Arabia
Yeah.
in 1933, 43, and they got with the Wahhabi warriors, take away the hijaz from the Muslims, then they take on the oil. And bin Laden was part of the Saudi people. So it was a personal story with America and the bin Laden, the Saud family. It has nothing to do with the world. And the Trade Center, the people who had protests with the Trade Center is the people of America. They had the ordinary citizens who had come out in tens of thousands, and they had even used excessive force on them and so on. They have a problem with the World Trade Center for what it is doing with people, right? It was the very Europeans and the North Americans that have the problem with the World Trade Center, not bin Laden and the Muslims. But the people, you see, we in this part, because we are kind of divorced from the rest of society with knowledge, we live in a situation where whatever people feed us with, that is what we go with. You know? So, with the situation there, it's not that you have to live in the past and the present. I understand what you're saying. Is that this way, where people is following, is a way which was designed by a set of people, which is contrary to the guidance or what man should be doing. Assalamu alaikum.
You're talking sheer nonsense.
You know, what man should be doing, it is not what is being designed for man to do due to the educational system. If you look at the current situation with all those protests around the world, they are not offsprings of the slaves. They are not offsprings of the persons who were slaves. They are not the Africans that was placed in slavery. They are the very Europeans. They are the very Europeans and their offsprings who is protesting against their system. They and seeking to go against their system because that's the same slave system. You know, so is that most of the people, due to the education which they have, they find it difficult to distinguish between the right and wrong. But what they might find is right is just according to Europe and America. And what Europe and America say, that is what they intend that must govern them. And that is the problem that we're having. So I understand fully well what you were saying. I understand you well, and you are conscious, you do understand, but one man is not an army. One man is only a soldier. And that is the problem when you talk about change. You know, just what is happening in these countries, if you check your history, you would see that America had stand up against Britain for the same thing. And they fight and die. That is how they were established. It's not that they established through negotiations and this kind of thing. No. Every country in the world that break away, they had to fight and break away. Otherwise, all of them would have been in captivity unto this day by the Europeans. If you check the history of the Europeans, Britain London, all the different European countries, all put together, is London. Whether France, Spain, Holland, all work together. All of them had different times in London. London was supposed to be the headquarters of Europe. And then they design what they want. And all this has happened just 1,000 years ago. The people used to live in the world before. People used to live all over this world before that. And that is the life that we need to go to. Not primitive life. Beyond 1,000 years. And we will find the guidance. Assalamu alaikum.
Yeah, my brother, it's me again. I'll call you with a cell phone and I'll run out of credit.
Okay.
So I'll get a landline to call with.
Okay.
Yes. Do you know that human being every day is slow poison with a fertilizer food? Back in the days was organic chemistry. Now it's a lot of chemical human beings that's going through. Do you know that?
Yes. You see, on that, you find that, take for instance, that is the same reason why those people had protested with the World Trade Center when they started, right?
Yeah.
Because they seek to have some drugs, right? Let us say they manufacture some drug, right?
Yeah.
The World Bank is going to lend them some money, billions of dollars. They build a building, they got the factories, they got all the equipments, they everything. Then they start production.
Yeah.
The next thing have to happen, they have to have market. So people have to get sick in respect of those drugs. Otherwise, the business can't go on. They can't pay their employees. They won't be able to pay the other persons which they buy things from. They won't be able to pay back the bank. So they have to ensure that persons get sick. And the third world people become the guinea pig.
Yeah, third world people become the victim.
That's right. You see, so you have to get sick. They would come and spread the epidemic here and give you so that you would have to use those drugs. Otherwise, how the business going to go on? And I only use that for one instant. It is on every single thing. Everything. That is why nowadays even organic is a problem in getting organic things. A real problem.
Yeah.
Because look, corn. They take pig genes and put in the corn so you get plenty air. Because the pig have a higher reproductive rate. So when they do things like that, how are you going to get organic? People are going to get mixed up. You know? They have so much things in respect of the organic that could cause people serious problem. Sometimes in these times, if you're not careful and you want to be a vegetarian, you might get more hookworm than the person who eat pork. Because you have urea that is being used. The fertilizer in urea is human feces. And that has more hookworms. And that is fertilizing all the plants.
Okay.
They had a girl here, Desiree Lancaster. It was years ago when I was doing manufacturing. She was a young girl come home here, and when the people say she mad, right? And then I hear they say she go mad, because if they giving her injections, say she mad, she was telling them about this. That is why these fertilizer bags, in the time of Burnham, he had banned these fertilizer bags that is being used for shopping bags.
Yeah.
Because hookworm eggs go in there then it don't die when you cook when you cook your thing and you put your thing inside there. Nowadays, you ask the average child today, they will tell you like if hookworm is part of the human body. The people who went to school in my time know that hookworm is a parasite. But they say hookworm is part of the human body because they always have hookworm. Because of what they eat. You know, so what you're saying is very much accurate. I understand well. But it's that persons, they do not pay much heed. The persons who didn't come from the universities of the same
But
European.
excuse me, pardon, but right about now, some people society blind, you know. They society blind. They just getting by with life. They know what's going on around them, where they living around, you know.
That is true. That is very much true.
And if you get together and form youth groups, politicians come around and say that you're planning to overthrow them, you know.
Yeah. Well, you see, what I intend doing, what you're saying there, I picked that up too, is to mold the youths at this place there by Mandela and Princess Street. What I'm going to do is mold the youths. They ain't got no question of overthrowing and these things. Is where the problem is not the government, it's the governance.
Okay.
So whoever is the government, it makes no difference. Because all the change that they're talking about, okay, is a change of another foreman on the job. But that is not the problem with us. If somebody else go in there, does it mean that these people, children, they're going to have food in their kit to go to school? That doesn't bring the change for them. It's the system of governance. And for that to take place, you don't have to sit in the seat of government for that to be done. That doesn't have to happen. You got schools.
Uh-huh.
That's the first place that things have to take place. And from nursery to university, you have people that you can able to mold and set aright. And you don't need government to do that.
Okay.
You have students and teachers.
Yeah.
Buildings and all that is not the school, it's the activity that go on. If it is that persons, look what is happening. If persons live, 4 or 5 people live, families or adults live in one house, they got one bed, they got one table, one TV or what have you, right?
Yeah.
If they were in their own houses, they would have had more beds, more TVs, more houses would have been built, more people would get jobs, a whole set of development would take place, and you don't need the government, you don't need no US dollars to get that done or anything.
No.
It's just the system of governance. We don't have to live how we're living. Why we doing it? I don't know. You have a lot of institutions. Look, Peter de Geer. He was not government. When he had his workers, they had their own housing scheme. You had a whole set of things for his workers and so on, and they were not government. We had this right here in Guyana. They have resources. Some institutions have all the resources. They have human resources, economic resources, machinery, everything. And still, they have nothing where production and productivity is concerned. I would have to cut off. Time is run out on me.
It's okay, my brother. Enough respect, right? In the name of
Yeah.
Rastafari, right?
Yes.
Muslin. 1, right?
Yeah.
Okay, my brother.
Okay. Yeah. I will have to leave now. We had some early technical problems with the telephone, but it has worked itself out. And I hope that, well, the next week we're able to... I'll be here, right here, at the same station, same time. Assalamu alaikum.
Digicom, your little future. Digicom.
We're all different, but at Digicom, we'll find your common link, providing you with excellent technical support, the latest in computer systems, accessories, and parts. Always at the horizon of technology, taking you where others can only imagine. Call telephone 225-0501.
Digicom.